As Anzac Day approaches, Wairarapa is preparing for ceremonies in Featherston, Greytown and Tinui. Local Focus spoke to Greytown's 100-year-old World War II veteran Richard Harding, who lives with his canine companion, Toby. Commander Harding served in the Royal New Zealand Navy after being recruited by his father. His training started in New Zealand.
I was the very first class to go through, about 100 of us. And then we had no hammocks, we just slept on the floor, on the ground, under cover.
Harding considers himself lucky to have avoided deployment to the HMS Neptune, where 150 New Zealand soldiers tragically sank in a Mediterranean minefield.
I could have gone to the Neptune, and very luckily I didn't. I went direct to England and then went to sea in a destroyer from Harwich, going up and down the English Channel to the north, to the south. And it was very exciting. By that time I was 19 years old, and that was very exciting. Our second in command was a great-grandson of Charles Dickens, and he wore a red beard, rather like Charles Dickens. He was a nice guy. Anyway, he thought I was pretty smart, which I thought I was in those days, and I'm not so sure now. And he recommended me for a commission in the Navy. So I went down to Brighton and did 4 months of training and ended up as a sub-lieutenant. We had the landings at Azu, in French North Africa, and the French put up a big defence, and we were all lucky to survive it. It was very nasty. Then I was sent back to England and met a girl, married her. We had 2 children, and she died here in Greytown.
Harding served in the Navy for a further 22 years before settling down. He briefly became mayor of Greytown, then bought and managed an orchard until it became too much.
I packed in being an orchard. I just retired, and I've managed to struggle along ever since.
Harding says his experience of war was one of great adventure, but he acknowledges it's not like that for all soldiers.
Veterans from Cambodia and Vietnam, I think they're entitled to. They really did have a real war, and more so than I did. I had a relatively peaceful war. I mean, it's always exciting, but it wasn't a hands-on war like we've got in Ukraine.
How do you feel about history repeating itself in these wars over and over again?
I think it'll happen all the time. I'm afraid so. But what worries me, and I can well understand the Americans and the Brits and the Europeans not wanting to go to war and run the risk of atomic bombs being used. Putin is totally ruthless, and I wouldn't trust him further than I can throw him.
What would your message be to soldiers who are going to fight?
I think I can understand them going to help, to make sure that we send stuff, equipment to help. But that's about as far as I'd go in this case, because I don't want to run the risk of an atomic war.
More information about life in wartime since World War I is availavailable at the RSA website. Eli Franco, Local Focus.